The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. Chapter 12. The Land of Do As You Please. Joe jumped into the engine of the train. A bright fire was burning there as it was a steam train. He looked at all of the shining handles and wheels. "How shall I know which is which?" he asked the driver. "Ah, well," said the driver, pointing to the different knobs and handles. "That there is the starting wheel, and that's to make the whistle go. Oh, and that's to go slow, and this one makes you go fast. And, you can't make a mistake. Don't forget to stop at the stations, will you? And, look out for the road crossing gates in case they're shut. It would be dangerous not to take care there." Joe felt tremendously excited. Rick looked up longingly. "Oh, Joe, could I come too?" he pleaded. "Please let me, just to watch you." "All right," said Joe. So Rick hopped up onto the engine. Beth, Frannie, Moonface and Silky got into a carriage just behind. The guard ran alongside, waving a flag and blowing his whistle. "The signal's down!" yelled Rick. "Go on, Joe, start her up!" Joe started the starting wheel. He twisted it round. The engine began to chuff, 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 and moved out of the station. "Joe's really driving the train!" cried Beth. "Oh, isn't he clever? He's always wanted to drive an engine." The engine began to go very fast. Too fast. Joe pulled the go slow handle and it went more slowly. But he was so interested in what he was doing that he didn't notice they were coming to a station. He shot right through it. "Joe!" cried Rick. "You've gone through a station! Gosh! Look! The passengers waiting there did look cross and, look, a lot of them on our train wanted to get out there." Sure enough, a number of angry people were looking out of the carriage windows, yelling to Joe to stop. Joe went red. He pulled the stop handle. The engine stopped. Then Joe pulled the go backwards handle and the train moved slowly backwards to the station. It stopped there, and Joe and Rick had the pleasure of seeing the passengers get out and in. The guard came rushing up. "You passed the station! You passed my station!" he cried. "Don't you dare pass my station again without stopping." All right, said Joe. "Now then, OK, off we go again." And off they went. "Now keep a lookout for stations, signals, tunnels and road crossings, Rick," Joe called over his shoulder. So Rick stuck his head out and just watched as the world passed by. "Road crossing!" he cried. "The gates are shut! Slow down, Joe, slow down!" But unluckily, Joe pulled the go fast handle instead of the go slow, and the train shot forward quickly. Just as the engine reached the gates, Joe pulled on the brakes. A little man rushed out of the cabin nearby just as the train came to a halt. You bad driver!" he shouted. "You might have caused an accident." Phew. That was a narrow escape, said Joe. When the road crossing gates were open, Joe started off again. "What's coming now, Rick?" Joe called. A tunnel," said Rick. "Whistle as you go through, in case anyone's working in it." So Joe made the engine whistle loudly. It really was fun. It raced through the dark tunnel and came out near a station. "Stop! Station, Joe!" cried Rick. And Joe stopped. Then on went the train again, boop, boop, whistling loudly, rushing past the signals that were down. Then something happened. The go slow and the stop handles wouldn't work. The train raced on and on and on, past stations big and small, through tunnels, past signals that were up, and behaved just as if it had gone mad. "Hey!" said Rick in alarm. "What's gone wrong, Joe?" Joe didn't know. For miles and miles the train tore on, and all the passengers became really, really alarmed. And then, as the train drew near a station, it gave a loud sigh, ran slowly, and then stopped all by itself. It was the very same station that it had started from. The driver of the train was there and waiting. "Oh, so you're back again," he said. "Oi, hang on, let me look at my watch. Oh, you've been quick." "Well, the engine didn't behave itself very well," said Joe, stepping down thankfully. It just ran away the last part of the journey. It wouldn't stop anywhere." "Oh, I dare say it wants to get back to me," said the driver, climbing into the engine. "It's naughty sometimes. Come along and drive it again with me." No, thank you," said Joe. "I think I've had more than enough. It was fun, though." Beth, Frannie, Moonface and Silky got out of their carriages. They'd been rather frightened the last part of the journey, but they thought Joe was very, very clever to drive the train by himself. They all left the station. "Now, what shall we do?" asked Moonface. "Well, remember, I really want to ride on an elephant," said Frannie at once. "Well, there aren't any," said Beth. But no sooner had she spoken than the children saw 6 huge grey elephants walking solemnly up to them, swaying a little from side to side. "Oh, look!" yelled Frannie, filled with excitement. "There are my elephants, 6 of them! Oh, we can all have a ride!" Each elephant had a rope ladder going up its left side, leading to a little seat which was fixed around the elephant's back. The children, Moonface and Silky, each climbed up the rope ladder and sat on a comfortable seat on an elephant's back. Then the big creatures set off, swaying through the crowds. It was lovely. Oh, Frannie did enjoy herself. She called to the others, "Wasn't this a good idea of mine, everybody? Aren't we high up and isn't it fun?" "Oh, it is fun," said Moonface, who had never even seen an elephant before and would certainly never have thought of riding one if he had. "Oh, goodness! Oh, my rope ladder has slipped off my elephant. Oh, now I shall never be able to get down. I'll have to ride on this elephant all my life." Everybody laughed, but Moonface was really alarmed. When the children had enough of riding, they all climbed down their rope ladders, but poor Moonface sat up on his elephant and looked very, very worried. "I tell you, I can't get down," he kept saying. "I'm up here for good, I really am. I'm up here forever." The elephant stood patiently for a little while. Then it swung its enormous trunk round, wound it tightly around Moonface's waist, and lifted him down to the ground. Moonface was so surprised that he couldn't speak. At last he found his tongue. "What did the elephant lift me down with?" he asked. "What was that? Was that his nose? Did he just lift me down with his nose?" "No," said Joe, laughing. "No, that's his trunk. Didn't you know that elephants had trunks, Moonface?" "No," said Moonface, puzzled. "Well, I'm glad he didn't pack me away as baggage." The children laughed. They watched the big elephants walking off. "What shall we do now?" asked Joe. "Rick, what do you want to do?" "Well, I know I can't do it, but I would love to wade in the sea," said Rick. "Oh, that would be nice," said Frannie, who loved wading in the sea too. "But there isn't any sea here." But just as she said that, she noticed a signpost nearby. It pointed away from them and said in big letters, "To the sea." "Wow! Look at that!" said Frannie. "Come on, everyone!" Off they all went, running the way the signpost pointed. And after going around 2 corners, there, sure enough, was the blue sea, lying bright and calm in the warm sunshine. Shining golden sand stretched to the little waves. They could hear the sound of them lapping on the sand. Shh. Oh, good, cried Rick, taking off his shoes and socks at once. Come on! Soon everyone was wading in the warm sea. Moonface and Silky had never waded before, but they loved it just as much as the children did. They realised wading actually meant walking in lovely, lovely water, sea water. It was gorgeous. Rick went out so far that he got his clothes soaking wet. Oh, Rick, you're wet, cried Beth out to him. Come back! This is the land of do as you please, isn't it? Shouted Rick, jumping about in the water and getting wetter. Well, I'll get as wet as I like then. Oh, what were they going to do with him? Moonface wasn't thinking about that. Let's make a huge sandcastle, cried Moonface. Then we can all sit on top when the sea comes in. We can't, said Silky, suddenly looking disappointed. Why not? Cried Joe. Isn't this the land of do as you please? I thought this was that land. We should be able to. Yes, said Silky, but it's time we went back to the Faraway Tree. This land will soon be on the move and, well, nice it is. Well, we don't want to live here forever. Oh, gosh, no, said Joe. Our parents couldn't do without us. Rick, come back. We're going home. Rick didn't want to be left behind. He waded back at once, his clothes dripping wet. They all made their way to the hole that led down through the cloud to the faraway tree. Ah, we did have a lovely time, sighed Joe, looking back longingly at the happy land he was leaving behind. It's one of the nicest lands that has ever been at the top of the tree. They all felt tired as they crowded into Moonface's room. Don't fall asleep before you get home, said Moonface. Take cushions, all of you. They went down the slippery slip, yawning as they went. They made their way home and fell into bed, tired out but very happy. And in the morning, their mother spoke to Rick. Rick, why are your clothes so wet this morning? Oh, well, I waded too deep in the sea, said Rick. And he couldn't understand why his Aunt Polly said he was a naughty little storyteller. And that is the end of that chapter. My gosh, they actually had a nice adventure. I mean, it got a little bit scary there with that train, but they did. They managed it. They found a land, they had a nice adventure, and they got home. They got home in one piece and didn't seem to have too many problems. Oh, what a lovely surprise. Well, do you think that that's the way that everything's going to go from now on? Do you think that every land that comes from now on is going to be a lovely land? If it was, and if you could choose the next lovely land, what would you want it to be? What land would you like to arrive at the top of the tree next? And if a lovely land doesn't arrive, what do you think might come? What might be the worst kind of land that could come? Do you think they'll end up going there? Well, as we say goodbye for today, I want you to think about the very lovely land. Imagine that. Lovely, lovely land. And let's hope that a land like that comes very soon. Okay, bye-bye.